Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jai Shri Mataji, thank you for joining us and thank you for joining the Blossoming Children. This channel is created for Sahaj parents who are trying to raise children with the Sahaj values that Shri Mataji has taught us. Today, I am absolutely delighted and thrilled to have somebody very special joining us. Catherine has spent a lot of time with Shri Mataji, and Shri Mataji directly gave her some advice that we can all use. So welcome, welcome, Catherine.
Thank you, Prerna. Jai Shri Mataji. Thank you for having me. I have to correct you in the sense that people think I spend a lot of time with Shri Mataji. No, I had the opportunity, of course, which is invaluable, to receive Shri Mataji in our home in Rome and in Vienna. But after that, I was busy with 3 children born in 3 years. So the actual time I could spend with Shri Mataji was then limited by my family duties in that sense. But, you know, on the other hand, then they grew up and I could do more later on once they had been, you know, grown out of the house and independent by themselves.
So you gave us a little bit about your introduction with that you have 3 children. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, please?
Yes, well, I got my realization in 79 through a friend, which turned out then to become my sister-in-law, which I didn't know at that time. We were studying together. We were at the university together. And after her and her brother giving me a realization, I met Shri Mataji for the first time for the birthday puja in 80, 23rd of March in 80. And from there on, it started. My life in Sahaja Yoga started really with a tremendous intensity that within a year from meeting, in less than a year, I had finished my education, moved country, gotten married, and given birth to a child. So that was more or less in 12 months. I mean, but that was the style of my, 35, 40 years of marriage. It was very intense. Now it has slowed down, but it was very intense. It was very intense. But
nice,
you know, with all the advantages of it also.
Sure, sure. Lots of good fortune, lots of good times, intense and good times.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we wanted to focus on today is the importance of massaging children, babies. And we've all heard Shri Mataji talk about this, and we've all, tried to remember it. But Catherine, you have a special space in this because Shri Mataji showed you how to do the massaging for babies. Will you tell us why it's important, how to do it, what age to do it to, just everything about massaging? Would you share, please?
Or I can try to see what I remember. I mean, you know, the oldest turns 40, so it's quite a while ago. But yeah, that was maybe I was in that situation, and since then, many young married women have experienced that in Sahaja Yoga, as with the cross-cultural marriages Shri Mataji does. A young woman is taken completely out of her surrounding and finds herself fairly alone. And this is in that situation. Shri Mataji found me at that time in Rome with a 2-month-old baby. I had basically not much of a clue. Newly wed, a baby in my arms in a country where I didn't know anybody. You know, I had no older sister, I had no mommy or mummies, no aunties. I was alone. So I did.
So many of us, yeah. So many of us can relate to that.
Exactly. So in that sense, so Shri Mataji then took the baby and she told me, massage him, which we had started to do because it was already known that massaging is good. And why is massaging good for a child? It is through good oils. So it's important you have a good quality oil. You can take olive oil if you are in Europe, almond oil, a good quality almond oil. With these oils, we have to know, don't buy too big quantities at once, because they have to be fresh. So, 4 or 5 months, a freshly bought good oil, don't keep it too long. Coconut oil, of course, if you have a good coconut oil which is available. Now it's also much easier to get coconut oil a bit everywhere in each country. At that time, it wasn't that easy. So I did it with olive oil, which was easy to be in Italy to have a good olive oil. And then you massage to nourish the nervous system, because these good oils, they have vitamin E, vitamin A, polyunsaturated fats, which partly are being absorbed through the skin, partly not. And what Shri Mataji was suggesting is that it's better to give a massage to a baby than a bath. So even if you don't have the time to do a bath every day, but try to see that you give a child a massage every day, also to release the nervous system. We have to understand that these babies, if they are born realized, which most of the babies which are born to a Sahaj family, to a Sahaj couple, are born realized, there are also many born realized children which are born to other families outside, which are dharmic. But that's another topic. Our responsibility is to keep them clean. If they are born realized, it means their sahasrara is open. Now, a born realized child cannot clean his or her system out. They are too small. And this should be considered till the age of 5, 7, 8, till a child is mature enough to tell him or herself, okay, not this. Where you, like we do to ourselves when we catch, again, I got impatient, or I got, I lost it. But a child will go into that with a non-developed nervous system. It's normal, but this is the duty. And I would say, Sahaj parents, the only thing they have to do, or their responsibility, is to keep the connection of the born realized soul alive. Everything
This is
else,
a big a big responsibility, a big responsibility.
Yes, you are right. We should not forget that these children, they are very open. So they do absorb from their surrounding. Their surrounding in first line is the family. So also while Shri Mataji was talking to me, she was really also saying, beware of your family background, so that it doesn't build an imprint, which is in us. Right. I am imprinted from what I got from my parents.
Sure.
So I should try not to burden too much my child with the same imprints.
So I see that you have a teddy bear. Will you show us on the teddy bear how to do the massage? How to do this massage so that I know bears are so awesome. They're so helpful. Okay, show us how should we do the massaging.
So, this is what everybody does, the massaging of the tummy in a clockwise manner. And what I used to do with the little ones, to clear them out, if I say they have a bit of colic, or, I am aware of the Nabi and the family being, sometimes a bit tight, then as I massage, I would say the mantra to wherever I am. So first of all, the sound, the child gets it. It's relaxing. So they associate already a nice correlation between this sound and she
Mm-hmm.
takes care of me.
Yeah.
So in the
Yeah.
front, nicely clockwise with the palm of your hand. This, and then against the colics, especially the boys are more susceptible to have colics than girls, to go take the left foot and go across over the tummy to the right. And then with the other one, you make a X like that. It helps them to release the gas. So even, that they release, eventually if they have gas. Then, of course, Shri Mataji was telling me everything, what to eat and not to eat, to try to, lessen the possibilities of colics. And then once you have your baby nicely massaged on the front, put him on his tummy, they go in that. And then I would take my thumb and go up the spine, like in clockwise on both sides. Again, insisting on where I know that the family, let's say the family heat is more concentrated in insisting more. And then when they have their head, you go from down to the Sahasrara, up to the Sahasrara, up to the Sahasrara, and really nicely massaging them. They get nice and slippery, and then you let the oil sit for a little while, and then you tap it clean. And then I would also take, the feet, the legs, and, stretch it out. And then we have, again, a lot of nerves in the feet, massaging their feet, like that. Don't rip them apart. Huh? They are still babies. They are extremely solid, but they are still babies.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
the other, and then the shoulders, down the neck, the shoulders, the arms, and then the hands. And normally they enjoy that. They have,
I'm feeling, yeah, I'm feeling relaxed just watching you doing that. I would imagine that feels very relaxing indeed.
it's not
Yeah,
time.
I know. Um, so you mentioned that Shri Mataji had told you certain foods to stay away from during breastfeeding to help the babies not have colic. Do you remember some of the things that you can share about that?
Yes, basically everything which grows under the earth, you avoid. Carrots, potatoes, onions. Of course, it depends from where you come. It gets difficult what to eat, but very important, eat rich food. We forget liver tired for the time being, because what is important, the mother has to eat richly so that her milk becomes nourishing enough. So I mean, in India, that you have all this recipe for breastfeeding moms. Then if you can have what I was doing also, I mean, not now, I was doing this for young mothers. Then after I helped them, is a sweet couscous with almonds, with raisins, with cashew nuts, butter, and then
Ghee, lots of ghee, lots
ghee,
of ghee, lots
butter,
of halua,
ghee,
lots of,
cream, yeah, and then jeera, a little bit of jeera, ajwan to bind, fennel tea, lots of
yeah.
fennel tea, eat fennel, eat proper proteins, don't stay away from proteins. Of course, you leave beef out, but lamb, eggs, chicken, fish, avocado, what else? Then the nuts, butter. Tomatoes are too acidic. That gives then a too acidic urine. It can be too aggressive to the skin. So everything which is too acidic, also like raw fruits, uncooked fruits, raw vegetables, and couscous is good because it's hard wheat, not white flour. White flour, everything which is too white, leave it out. And then it depends. You have to see. You can
Mm.
have one child in the same family who is extremely delicate, and the other one you can eat what you want and it doesn't
Right.
react. So
Right.
this is then also, I don't wish to any mommy to have a child which is too delicate, because it's
Mm.
long hours to soothe them and to get them over the first 2 months where they are most delicate.
Right. You know what's really spontaneous about these conversations is always they just evolve, and this conversation seems to be evolving for infancy. So is there anything else you can remember in terms of helping babies from birth to 2 years, infant spaces, because colic and all happens in earlier? Is there
Yes,
any other advice you're remembering that
yeah.
Shimataji said?
You know, our baby was 2 months old, and she told me I didn't speak English. I learned English while listening to Shri Mataji, not before. I
Wow.
didn't know English. No, I didn't know English. So she told
That's
me,
amazing.
speak to him in English, he has to understand me. So what I suggest, of course, this video is going to be shown by people from all kinds of mother tongues, which is perfectly fine.
Right.
But even a baby, newborn, give it the habit to take it to your meditation room or meditation corner. Sometimes you don't have a proper room. The house is too small, or your spouse is maybe not a yogi. Doesn't matter. You can accommodate. If you have a little altar, put the child at the feet of this altar and play Shri Mataji's voice from the beginning. So what you can't clear, you know, it will help the child to be exposed to vibration. Give the child morning and evening bandhans, raise its kundalini, massage it to clear the child out. Because, yeah, as we said,
Yeah.
our
I also
duty,
remember.
yes, please.
Yeah, I also remember Shrimatji saying that you should hand your baby to other people so they get comfortable with vibrations, so that they're not always absorbing the mother's vibrations.
Yes, no, you know, I have seen young mothers, they were cleaning the baby for the first 3 months, more or less to their body, like they were still pregnant with it. No, have the baby sleep in your bedroom, but in his or her cot. Let the comfort your baby. They need that, you know. I
Right.
mean, you have to give them love, security, this, that. But they are not an extension of ours. They are an independent being. This is when I understood what Mahamaya is. Because at one point I was looking at my child, which was not wanting to do what he wanted. And when I understood that I was taken by a ride by the 7 months old, I said, no, it doesn't work anymore. The child looked at me and said, well, okay, I give up this game. Of course, then the next one was on. But
Yeah.
they are independent. So we have to, from the beginning, of course, not the first 40 days. They're not. Be very careful to whom they give, because they are so open. They are so permeable to other vibration. So you secure them, but you have them sleep in your bedroom, in a cot by themselves. Um, then, yes, teach them to go around, that each auntie and uncle and the grandparents, they are just as capable as the parents to look after them. Um, older cousin, brother, sister who are maybe a bit rough. It doesn't matter as long as the security of the baby is
Right, right.
guaranteed.
Family time brings joy, love, collective feeling, and this sense of belonging that, the baby
Yeah.
belongs to the collective and the family. So we're almost out of time. Any last words of wisdom you would like to share?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, there would be so much more to say, but what is important is to really get them to meditate, have them sit down. Shimantaji called at me because the boy who was two years and a few months old walked from me to his papa during a puja. And she said, can't you control your child? Now he was walking all right. It's not that he was stumbling over everybody. And he quietly, without noise, without nothing, he went to sit with his father, who was, of course, on the man's side. But she didn't want. What we have to understand, if the children are not behaving, they could then become a vehicle of negativity to disturb. Each person who is disturbed in her attention or his attention, you know, there is a fall in the capacity of absorbing vibration. And if we are in a collective setting, it's you know, I was spending most of my time of the pujas at that time outside, because either you have to feed the baby, you have to change the baby, and then they don't sit during a 4 or 5 hour puja. So okay, you take them out, but when they are in the present, they really have to be there. And it's also a way of having them keeping their sastara open, because if they get, you know, if the sastara closed, how do they maintain their connection to the divine? So this is something which Shri Mataji was emphasizing a lot, that they
yeah, I think that is a really good reminder that these are born realized souls. They belong to Shri Mataji, and our job is to help them in their spiritual journey and keep them figured out. And there are so many tips, and of course we've shared books and links and videos, and you know, these conversations continue with different topics, and they're evolving as Shri Mataji would like it to continue. Thank you so much for joining and sharing.
Thank you, Prerna. And yeah, let's hope it can be of any use to somebody. You know, we did mistakes. You can't be perfect. You know, a parent is never perfect. But if there is interaction, dialogue, comprehension, everything can be ironed out. And we can only do our best. And I think that's fine, because also Shri Mataji sends us the children which are just right for whom we are. So in that sense, you know, there is nothing.
100%. I agree with you. So I am really happy that you said that, because none of us are perfect and we're not trying to be perfect. And nobody is sharing information here from a perfection angle. We're sharing our life experiences. If it can help somebody, that's the point of keeping the conversation going. And love those children. They are special. And thank you for joining Blossoming Children. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving the comments. So many comments are coming. It's quite gratifying to know that people are finding it helpful. If you have further topics that you would like us covered, please let us know. This is an evolving process.
Definitely. I mean, you know, I have tried to put a few points, and I think out of my sheet, which is not long, huh? It's a small sheet and it's only 3/4 full. But what we said today is just the first 3 lines. So, no, there is a lot. There is a lot to say.
There is a lot to say and a lot to learn. The conversation continues. So the conversation continues.
Yeah, why not? Surely. All right. So for today, I understand we have to part. All right. So Jai Shri Mataji to everybody. Thank you, Prerna. That was really nice. You called me.
Thank you.
And if I can help another time.
Yes, sure.
Okay, Prerna. Jai Shri Mataji. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.